screen there, and you said, man, I'm really interested to know the story of Matt Clash. So I'm going to start with that, and then we're going to get into you and learn about you.
All right.
Matt Clash is the craziest thing. If you'd have asked me when I was like a kid, dude, are you going to grow up and build a folk style collectible wrestling card game? I'd be like, dude, you're out of your mind. What? And I didn't even know that I had the mental fortitude to do that, if that makes any sense. Me and Quantal were talking one day, and for those listening to this that don't know, Quantal Langford at Langford Studio, that's my partner in B Money Beastin'. We do everything together. And I said, dude, I think we need to, and this is when we had, I want to say, how many characters? Maybe 5 at the time. Now we just had a new one. I texted you that one this morning. I don't even know what his name is yet, but he's pretty cool. But we had like 5 characters, and I'm like, dude, I think we need an app. We need to build an app. He said, like a game, and I was thinking like Mortal Kombat kind of thing, and kind of like an over-exaggerated like wrestling game, like a mobile game. And he goes, kids spend too much time on their phone anyway. And I said, you know what? You're right. And then there was some kind of study that I looked up that like on cell phones, you can get overstimulated type thing, and it's one of those things that's not good, like prior to like competing or things like that. And I was like that. I don't remember all of it, but I just know that it was a deterrent, during like a competition phase where you got kids like sitting on their phones for like 3 hours in between matches or whatever. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, what can we do? Because the year before me and Bryson went out Super 32. And he was in the middle school division. Now, the middle school division took like 4 hours, dude, in between matches. Like it was brutal. And here's the worst part. We go out there, we get a first round bye. So there's 4 hours or whatever it was. And then we wrestle our freaking training partner round 1.
Oh.
And now it was a good match. Bryson barely won the match. He was down by 2. This is before the 3-point takedown and all that. But he was down by 2 he was down by 1 with like 30 seconds left, and he got a reversal and won the match as the buzzer went off. And it was sad because neither one of them. I didn't want either one of them to lose. Right? It was kind of one of those things, and you drive all that way to wrestle the kid you wrestle every day, and it's like, come on, bro. But then he had another 4 hours, and then he got his ass beat by Bachman from, the kid that's won like 9 in a row at Super 32. Yeah, he made the highlight reel for all the wrong reasons out there. But anyway, but you had all this time, and you see all these kids, and some of them are sleeping, and some of them are, eating every 5 seconds, and some of them are watching like their iPads or whatever. And I'm like, dude, there's got to be something that you can do that would be a cool thing that the whole community, the whole wrestling community could kind of eventually pair up and, oh, you got a set? I got a set. Like, hey, let's sit back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Quantal said, dude, he said, man, what about a card game? And I was right on the cusp of thinking this when he said it. And I'm like, dude, that's a good idea. I was like, but how does it work? He said, well, I don't know, man. I can draw it. You can figure it out. I was like, okay. So it was my job to figure out how it played, and it was Quantal's job to figure out how it looked. So
okay,
me and Bryson and my younger son Zachary, he don't wrestle, but we sat in the kitchen floor over here with printer paper, and we would write takedown, escape, reversal, whatever, and we were trying to figure out, okay. We're going to put 55 cards in the set. Okay, so how do we break it up to where you get the cards you need at the right time? How do you make it play 1v1? How do we put in near fall points? And that was where I got stuck. Because if it's a 1v1 game and you're going back and forth, if you can't just throw down a takedown and throw down near fall because it's a 1v1 game. So how can I make it where it's hard to play near fall points, but you can? And then Billy Hamilton. Do you know Steve Hamilton?
I do.
Steve. All right. Steve used to help Matt at Grindhouse, and we met him when Bryson was like 9 or 10. And we met Billy at the same time. They actually live like 3 miles from us. And Bryson and Billy are like best buddies, right? Since they were like goofy little, right? And Billy come over here and stayed the night one night. And I'm still trying to figure out how do I play near fall? Because I had almost all of it together. But how do I play near fall points? And he says, dude, I play Monopoly Go. I think that's what he said, Monopoly Go, something like that. And he said, you need a skip card. Duh. Okay. That's it. And I said, well, what if I can't call it skip? That'll be stupid. So I call Quantal like that minute. I said, bro, I said, we need a skip card, but I don't know what to call it. He says, what about momentum? That's where the momentum card came from.
Nice.
And then we started, if I'm sure you've played the game, you know, if you're going back and forth, you can play takedown, momentum, near fall, or you can, you know, however it works, or you can play reversal, momentum, near fall. You know, there's different ways to do it. And that added the dynamic into the game that I felt like actually made it plausible. And then we started kind of tweaking it. At one point, the original rules had like a timer on it, and I was like, nah, that's too much. That's stupid. That's just going to be confusing. Because I was trying to do like 3 periods, right, you know, or whatever. And eventually I got to the point where, you know, everybody wanted, you know, like, well, how do I get a tech fall? Okay, well, this is how it makes sense to me. I mean, you can throw the pin card. If they don't defend it, you win. You can throw the Map Beast card. They don't throw the Beast and Wild card to defend it. You can win. But other than that, I like it playing out where neither wrestler, I call it wrestler instead of player, but like they can't play anymore in transition. Then you calculate your score, and you could win by major, tech fall, decision. And I felt like that was the simplest way and the most effective way to do that, where you can just keep playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Now, eventually, we got about 70 specialty cards sitting on a Word document right now that over the next several years, we're going to start releasing 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. And I'm assuming that this new alien character that I got a text on at 3 o'clock this morning, because literally, I think besides me adding it to my Instagram story this morning, you're the only person that's seen it.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. He sent it to me and he's like, hey man, new character alert. And he does that shit. He'll send me stuff so random, bro. He told me, he said, I'm building 2 new characters. I said, dude, that's awesome. I never know what to expect, right?
Yeah, man. His brain gets going, man.
He does, dude. And I didn't know what this was. And he sent it to me. I was like, dude, that is awesome. And I texted him this morning, you know, he's probably asleep because he's on the West Coast, but I texted him this morning. I said, dude, we should do like I don't know if we'll end up doing this, but I said, I think we should start doing Instagram, because we got a pretty good Instagram following now.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we do a poll and start letting the audience name these characters. I think that would be pretty.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just let the audience. I think that'd be pretty cool. But, well, eventually, to cap off the Matt Clash story, we kind of got it to the point where I felt like this is a great game. I think it can be really fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's cool. And we added in the duel meet. Like if you look on the rules, you can play a full duel, which I did 5, but you know, people can play 10 matches if they want or whatever, you know. And that way you'd have like a quick game and then you could play like a longer game, right? And I felt like that was like going to an individual tournament or going to a duel, right? I felt like that was kind of the thing. So then we had it built. And I'm like, this plays. So now I need to figure out how to manufacture it. And we had already manufactured, you know, gear and shoes and, you know, a lot of things. And I kind of had an idea how to deal with like vendors and stuff like that at that point. So I was like, okay, this is cool. So I started digging, and it took me about a week. And I actually found the manufacturer that manufactures Pokemon.
Huh.
It took me a week of digging and digging and digging. And I don't know that I would have if they didn't send me a live video of them printing about 4 million Pokemon cards. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I really don't care what you cost. You're my guy. You're my person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if you know, the feel and the texture, it's just like a Pokemon card.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, well, that's what I want. And she goes, well, do you want to do any holographs? And I was like, no. I said, I think the way that I'm going to do it, and if you notice, all our specialty cards have like an action shot, right? Yeah. Like the beat the back and the comeback. And then, of course, in wave 2, we got that scramble card that Brandon Bruner Shout out Brandon Bruner and Crown Jewel Grappling. They sponsored that card with that character.
That's awesome.
And then the cut-em card, and then the clone card is the only one. And you've seen Shadow, I think, hadn't you? Shadow.
Yeah.
He's got that card's going to be really unique for Wave 2. It's going to be from neutral, and if you throw a 3-point takedown, you can throw that clone card and you steal it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you steal the takedown. So and we're going to do several variations of that clone card, moving forward. So he's going to be like an anomaly, right? Like one that's he can eventually. I think there's going to be one from you're on bottom, and you get an escape, and he throws it down, and I don't know. He Matt returns and gets some near fall points or something. I'm kind of thinking of different ideas with him for Wave 3, 4, 5 because I really like that character. He reminds me of like Dracula or something. I don't know. But that's kind of how it got started. And then we ordered Matt Clash. Quantal finished up all the artwork and then sent me a 3D box design. He said, "Do you like this?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that's really cool with the lightning and all that." I was like, "That's pretty cool." Oh, one piece I left out. The name. We didn't know what to call it. So we put up a poll on Facebook of 5 names, and Matt Clash was one of them. And the only thing that got votes was Matt Clash. And I was like, damn, are we that stupid that our other ideas are that bad?
What were the other options?
Dude, I can't remember. I'll go find that and send it to you though. They must be pretty bad though. That was about a year ago. But it got blown up. It was 100% Matt Clash, across the board. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And the first logo, if I can get this to work, let me see if I can get this to work. Hold on. I think I got it here on my computer. I'll show it to you. Let's see. The first one, I thought it was good. And Quantal was like, nah, dude, that sucks. I was like, well, you drew it. How does it suck if you did it,
Yeah.
I just don't like it. And I was like, all right. He was like, let me change it. Okay, dude. Let me see. I gotta have it here, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe it was so bad too that I deleted it. I don't know, dude. But yeah, that's how Matt Clash came to be. It was, and then of course we started adding in characters and things like that, and of course, I'll pop him up big here. That's your card. If you notice, you can see the resemblance, guys that see this.
That guy's more handsome than I am.
No, man. Don't be like that. But yeah, and that's we got it manufactured. And it was slow at first because people were like, well, what is this? How does this work? And we were averaging anywhere from 2 to 10 a week-ish, And about 2 weeks ago, right before Christmas, it absolutely boom.
Oh yeah.
And dude, I was like, what is happening? Because I was literally wrapping a Christmas present on my little bar thing over here. And by the way, I suck at wrapping Christmas presents.
Don't we all?
Yeah, dude. The front looked like a Mercedes Benz and the back looked like a Pinto. And that thing on my phone through the store went cha-ching, and then it went ching, 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 and it just didn't stop for days.
That's awesome.
And we shipped out a ton. And I thought that was so great. We had some guy in Nebraska tag us in a video, kid playing it. And it went to about, I want to say 38 states over Christmas.
That's nice.
So I think we have something feasible here that, we're going to build on to, continuously build on. And that's what makes me excited is most card games, people will build a card game and it's just stationary. It stays the same. I have this goal that eventually, wave 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, after we get so many different cards out there, you're going to have kids that have different sets, right? They're going to,
yeah.
This kid may have the first couple of specialty cards and this and this, and this kid may have these and these and these. Well, I'm going to build a rule set eventually where you can play your set versus somebody else's set.
Yeah.
And that's, but it has to have enough out there in order to make that feasible. So that's where I think we're going. And we'll keep the original rule set too, right? But I would like one where, like, say me and you, we meet up at a tournament somewhere, and I got, wave 1 through 5, and you got wave 2 through 7, or whatever it is. You can pick like your best, 15 cards, and I pick my best 15 cards, and I can draw like 5 out of mine. You can draw 5 out of yours, and see who wins. Like maybe something like that. I'm not sure when that'll happen. I think we're a couple years away. We got a long way of continuously pushing this out, and I think when we get to that point, that's the goal here, to make it. And my ultimate goal, to close up the Matt Clash story. Every year at Fargo, there's a singlet swap.
Yeah,
and there's like a black market like gear store. I want a Matt Clash swap at Fargo.
that's gonna be awesome.